What's up, guys? I'm going to break down how to break through your fat loss plateau and how to avoid losing and gaining the same 15 to 30 pounds over and over and over again, despite having a crazy schedule, not having a lot of time to work out in the gym, or just being on the go a lot. And for some of you who are maybe new to my world or maybe don't know who I am yet, my name is Tyler Jones, and I was a former sports sales executive for about a year in the NFL. And the crazy thing about weight loss journey, guys, is 97% of programs out there fail people. Not because they don't work. Most programs do work initially for the first, 60, 90, 120 days, but they fail people afterward because a lot of people see the success and they see they lost 20, 30 pounds in that short time frame, but most programs fail people for that next step, that next level to go to. And that's why 97% of people fail, because they end up losing the 20 to 30 pounds in a short term, and then they end up regaining it because there was no plan or no support set up for the next stage in order to keep it off. So I'm going to break down the 3 steps that you guys need to follow that you can do at any stage in the journey that will help you avoid obviously losing and gaining the same 15 to 30 pounds back, and always consistently breaking through fat loss plateaus. And to make sure, if you really are in this place right now, make sure to take notes and get these 3 steps down. Number 1, guys, is to dial in your calories. So the biggest mistake I see people make when it comes to their journeys, with their fat loss journeys as a whole, and the mistake I've made early on, is they do things like crash dieting, intermittent fasting, restricting or reducing their calories so low, and not properly fueling their body, right? And they're doing these things that are unsustainable or something they can't do more than 60 or 90 days, right? And they work, but they can't do it more past that. So because they can't do it past the 60 and 90 days and they see the initial success, then they go back to doing their regular life, eating how they used to before they went on the crash diet or did the intermittent fasting, or just eating clean 24/7. And they end up putting all the weight back on because your body didn't have all of those, foods before, or you cut out a lot of stuff and now you're introducing it back in, and your body's like, give me all of it. Especially if you cut out carbs, it's easy to put on the weight all back on, especially after you haven't eaten carbs for a long time, guys. And imagine you didn't just imagine your child or your best friend didn't have their favorite food for 3 months, right? And they just didn't have it at all, right? And the whole time they're thinking about it. And then finally, once it's in front of them again, or they bring it back, they just eat a shit ton of it, right? Because they just didn't have it for a long period of time and they were depriving themselves. But you guys get the point. So that's the biggest mistake, guys. And what you need to do is just to dial in your calories, right? I can't do it on here, as I always say, because I do a whole in-depth process for my clients when it comes to their calories based off of their height, their weight, their activity level, their genes, all that good stuff. But there are sites out there like Legion Athletic Calculator. You can do a calorie calculator on there and a macro calculator to get a ballpark. They're not 100% accurate, but a range is better than nothing. And once you have that number for where you're at in the journey, if it's to lose 10, 15, 20, or 30 even pounds of fat, and once you lose that, then you have to recalculate your calories again for where you're at then, right? So again, you might have only eaten 22 or 2,000 calories in order to lose that 30 pounds. But now that you're down the weight and your body's in beast mode now, maybe now you need to recalculate your calories for what it would take or how much you need to eat protein wise in order to stay and maintain where you're at for the long term. So definitely dial in your calories and try to avoid doing things that are not sustainable for you long term, guys, because that's where you're going to fall into that trap of gaining and losing the same 15 to 30 pounds for years and years and years on end. Number 2 is to always be progressive strength training. The biggest mistake I made early on in my journey when I was skinny fat and I had a lot of body fat to use is I always focused on cardio. And I see a lot of people making that same mistake of just focusing on cardio and along with eating super low calorie or just restricting themselves and crash dieting, guys. And the crazy thing about when you restrict your calories and obviously you're doing a bunch of cardio, you actually burn muscle along with the body fat, right? Because again, it's weight, but the weight's not always body fat, guys. It is, muscle, fat. It's a combination of things, water weight. So when you are doing a bunch of cardio 4, 5, 6 days a week and just eating super low calorie, you are burning muscle along with your fat. And then obviously, in order to lose fat, you need to have muscle, guys. And that's where the progressive strength training comes into play. It's like, imagine if you just dialed as much as you possibly can with, with sales and trying to book as much appointments as possible, right? But you weren't prepared for those sales appointments, right? You didn't have like a script or a cadence, or just like you weren't energetically ready for that call. You're most likely not going to close the deals. So you're doing all this work, putting in the work, booking all the appointments, but you're not closing a lot of deals, right? It's the same thing. You could put all this work, do all this cardio, eat very less, and you'll lose weight, but you're also not closing deals with retaining your muscle. You're going to lose that as well, guys. So I would recommend, easy if you're on a time crunch schedule, do 3 full body days per week, right? For 25, 30 minutes. Because again, when you're training your muscles, that's when they break down during the gym. And obviously you got to make sure you're dialing your calories along with this and fueling your body, right? So that's going to obviously make your muscles come back bigger and stronger, and you're going to be able to recover and avoid having injuries because you're properly fueling your body, guys. And consistently progressive strength lifting also includes, challenging yourself in weight every single week. Don't go overboard, but if you have a rep range of 8 to 10 reps and you can do a weight that's more than the 10 reps, then you probably should go up in weight. But if you're doing a weight that you can't hit, like a rep range of between 8 to 10, then you should probably lower the weight so you can do complete the exercise in the 8 to 10 rep range. And you constantly want to keep following that method week in and week out, because that's how you're going to progressive overload and continuously build more muscle while maintaining a good nutrition routine to where you're eating enough protein, enough calories so your body can recover, maintain its muscle mass, and continuously shed body fat along the way. And then number 3, guys, is to hire a coach or hire someone for that next level support that you need. I've seen the biggest mistake people make is they always try to go, against the grain, go at the journey on their own, especially in the world of health and fitness and their goals. But most of the mistake they make is they ask for help in everything else when it comes to their career and sales or anything else they need in life. And I made that biggest mistake too. I always fell into the ego trap that I feel like I needed to prove to someone something that I am somebody, I can do something on my own. I am a self-made person. And in reality, guys, we're never self-made. We're always getting help from someone and something out there, whether it's our boss at work, our families, our friends. We're not on this journey alone, right? We didn't even come into this world without, our moms. So at the end of the day, from day one, we always needed someone's help to make it in this world. So my biggest thing is, again, if you're doing something that's not sustainable long-term, you might be in a place where you need to hire a coach because you don't know what you don't know, and that's totally fine, but it will help you get to your destination quicker. Because again, what got you I heard this quote not too long ago, and it's like, it's arrogance to think what was sufficient today will be sufficient for tomorrow, right, guys? Like, just in the world of sales, what got you from inside sales or, to that next level as a manager doesn't get you from manager to director or director to VP or account executive to senior account executive. You got to do something different, right? To take it to that next level. So the same thing goes for your health and fitness. If you're always doing the same thing you did on day one, on like day 180 or day 365, that's a big indicator of why you're maybe not seeing progress, and you're constantly falling back into losing and gaining the same 15 to 30 pounds over and over and over again. So I definitely would recommend hiring a coach if you're at that advanced or that next intermediate level and you feel like you need to take it up a notch and you're struggling to break through that plateau, because maybe there's a routine or nutrition regimen that's better for you out there as well to get you to that next level. So again, step number 1, dial in your calories for every single phase that you're at. You're going to have to recalculate them every single time. Number 2 is to always progressive strength train and weight lift. So that way you're always constantly building muscle, and the more muscle you do have, the faster your metabolism is going to be and the easier it is going to burn fat. And number 3, if you're struggling with the first 1 and 2, it's never a bad thing to hire a coach so you can get to your next destination quicker and stop wasting time and energy trying to figure it out on your own. So guys, I hope this training was super helpful, just to avoid those big pitfalls of, losing and gaining the same 15 to 30 pounds and hitting a lot of plateaus. And if you guys ever have any questions or concerns, feel free to reach out to me on LinkedIn or Instagram in the bio below. And if you guys are in a place where you're in a place of growth, you want to take that next step and make a change and actually get to your goals and stay there for the long terms and never have to worry about this again, feel free to book a fat loss audit in the bio below. We'll jam on a 30-minute session of just talking about where you're at in the journey. And, I'll break down what are your biggest, your limiting ceilings or your obstacles that you're facing right now and kind of give you some direction to get to your ultimate destination. As always, super excited to bring more value, guys, to the coming weeks and the coming months, and I will talk to you soon. Have a good one. Peace.